Hey everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to understand about JSON Web Token. What is JSON Web Token? How does it work? And what is the structure of JSON Web Token? At the end, we will also see the practical implementation using the JSON Web Token official website. So let's quickly start with what JWT is. So JSON Web Token is an open source. That means anyone can use it and they can contribute their contribution to make it more simpler and secure in order to exchange the information between any two bodies. When we say that any two bodies, that means bodies can be machines, bodies can be two users, bodies can be two systems, or any two bodies, and the information will be always be secure. It is digitally signed. When we say that digitally signed, that means it will always verify that the information which we are sending is always secured and that has not been changed or has not been altered when it is reaching to its destination. And this JSON Web Token is also self-contained. By self-contained, what we mean is it contains the information about the user like user IDs, username, password, email, or some other custom fields, and it will save the time to avoid querying into the database more than once. When we say that more than once, that means it will get the access about the user and we can directly access the protected resource instead of following the way to access the user information first and then access the information. That means we can also make less web callouts to communicate between the systems. Why it is useful? It is useful for the authentication purpose and securely exchanging the information between two bodies that we discussed. Now let's see what the structure of JWT is. So JWT contains of three main parts. One is header, payload, and signature. Now let's discuss one by one about each and every part of JWT. First part is header, which is consist of two parts, and it is a JSON object. It contains ALG, which is algorithm. That means we need to tell the system by using which algorithm we have encoded our header part, and we are encoding our string, that information we are exchanging. This algorithm might be RSA, HS256, HMAC, or any other algorithm. And second parameter is TYP, that is the type of token or the type of authentication we wanted to send, and this will simply like JWT. And this complete information will be base64 encoded, and then it will be sent to the third party system or second system. Second is payload. So payload is a place where we wanted where we store the information which we wanted to send to the different body. That means we can also say payload is a place where we store the actual information being exchanged. It also, we can say, it contains claims. When we see that claims, that means it contains the user information as well. User information like ID, name, or some other permissions. This is also a JSON object and this will also be base64 encoded. Last part is signature. Signature is used to make this JWT more secure and to verify that the information whatever being exchanged had not been altered while it is reaching to its destination. How signature will be generated? Signature will be generated using HMAC SHA-256 algorithm, where it will contain base64 encoding URI of our header part plus with a dot, base64 encoding of our payload, and a secret. This secret will be generated by our server. This will be a 256 secret. And by combining these all three parts and separated with a dot, we will get the information that we wanted to exchange. So this will look like this: the encoded string or the encoded information that we are trying to exchange will look like this: the header part separated by a dot, then payload part separated by a dot, and then our signature. Now how it will look like? It will look like this. Suppose that this is our header part that we just discussed. Algorithm as HS256, type as JWT. Payload data is we are sending some user, the name and ID of our user. And then we are generating signature using 256-bit secret. That's what we discussed. Now if you see here, this red part is base 64 encoding of our header. This rest of the part is base 64 encoding of our payload, and then after this dot, the second dot, we have got this signature which is used to verify. Now let's quickly see how it works in a flow. Suppose that we have application which is a single page application. Now this application is sending username and password to the server to generate a valid JSON Web Token. So first thing that it will the server will do, it will validate your login, that means your username and password, and will create a JSON Web Token for you. Return this JSON Web Token along with the secret. That secret is going to used to generate the signature part of our JWT token. And now we have got this JWT token. Then this JWT token needs to be sent along with the header to get the protected resource from our server. And again, this server will validate your token. If there is any alter that has been made during this information exchange, we will get that signature is not valid, and then we will get the error. If JWT token is valid, we will get the response, and then on the client side you might need to handle some parsing to display the information into the system, either mobile application or your PC or some other application that you are using. So this is the flow of your JWT. Now let's quickly see this in a practical implementation. To work with the practical implementation, we have got this. Just open this jwt.io into your browser, and after opening this you will see this screen where you can learn more about JWT. And once you will scroll down to the bottom, you will see a playground for you where you can actually use which algorithm you wanted to use to sign your JWT header, what payload you wanted to send, and how to generate a signature. This is what we discussed into our presentation slide as well. Let's quickly make the change into the secret. We are changing this secret. We are saying that signature is verified. Now if I make any changes into the payload, I will say that I have got invalid signature error. Why I am getting invalid signature error? Because this signature which has been generated by using this header and the payload data that we were able to see earlier. That's why we are getting this invalid signature. Now if I undo this change, we will get that signature is verified. Now we saw that we are changing here. If we try to change this, again we are getting invalid signature. Why? Because we try to change the signature itself. Now let's undo the change. Now copy this. We wanted to change payload, how it will react. So to change this payload, we know that it is always base 64 URL encode. To open that, go to this link. To open this link, you can even type base 64 URL encode online. You will get the second link. Just open that link, paste your text here. I'm going to change this 0 with 9. Click this button, get the encoded string, copy and paste in place of payload encoded string. Once you will paste here, you will see the data has been changed, but we are getting invalid signature. Again, the reason behind this error is the signature has already been generated with the existing data that we had earlier. If you make the change here as as 0 here, again signature is verified. So this is it for this lecture, how to use JWT, and I'll see you into the next lecture. Thank you.